Okay, so two things right off the top I want to let you know. One, there's a statistic in the business world that says that a majority of new hires, new employees, make a decision within the first 7 days of employment about whether to stay with the company long term. And the second thing is that my full first name is Brad. That's it. It's not Bradley, it's just Brad. So 10 years ago, I took a new job at a large Baltimore newspaper named after a glowing celestial body. And they struggled with both of those facts. So on my first day as a sports copy editor in the sports department down there in the newsroom, I went for orientation. I walked in, and on the table was a name card that said Bradley Jennings. Underneath it was an ID badge that said Bradley Jennings. Underneath that was a whole stack of official paperwork for benefits and payroll. Everything said Bradley Jennings. I said, excuse me, this isn't my name. And she said, oh no, we needed your full name. And I was like, yeah, I know how to fill out the forms when they ask that. Can we please change it? And she goes, that's going to take a while, and it's not going to be easy. I said, well, I think that we should because it's not my name. So she swipes up the paperwork, and she's out of the room. After the orientation, there's a tour of the building. And at each place, we're dropping off the new employees in the departments that they work in. So we got to see the advertising department, the customer service department. She knew a lot about the HR department. And at the end, it's just me left on the tour. And she goes, what department do you work in? I said, the newsroom. She goes, oh, I never go down there. I don't even know what goes on down there. I'm thinking, really? This is a newspaper. It's the reporters, the editors, where they make the news. Seems essential to things you would know. She goes, if I take you to the elevator, do you know how to get down there by yourself? I was like, sure. So a couple minutes later, the elevator doors open, and out walks Bradley Jennings into the bustling newsroom. Found my way to the sports editor's office, and he's like, oh, yeah, hey, come in. Hey, do you like cake? And I was like, I love cake. He's like, great, because we just had a newspaper that had a redesign today, a new look for the newspaper, and we're having some cake out in the newsroom to celebrate that. You want to go get some? And I was like, sure. So he walks out there with me to the middle of the newsroom. We get in line for cake, and he disappears. So now it's just me and about 40 people I've never seen before, and I'm enjoying my cake. And I'm just like, let's just eat the cake and go back to his office. In the middle of all that, a guy's like, hey, who are you? I said, I'm sorry, I'm new. I'm in the sports department. It's my first day. And he goes, well, I guess we're just giving anybody cake then. So I set the cake down, and I go back to the sports editor's office, and he seems disappointed to see me. He's like, oh, okay, you're back. He's like, hey, what is it, like noon? You want to grab some lunch? And in my mind, I'm thinking, lunch with a sports editor? Yeah, that sounds cool. I was like, yeah, lunch sounds good. He's like, okay, great. They showed you where the cafeteria was, right? Just like down the elevator, off to the right. You'll be able to find something down there. Just go ahead and get yourself some lunch. So down I go by myself, sit in the corner, the cafeteria. It's like a bad high school loner cliche. Stay down there for 2 hours because I just didn't want to go back up there and be rejected one more time. So they say that a majority of new hires make a decision within the first 7 days about whether to stay with a company long term. I don't think I decided on day one. I might have decided on day 2, which is my first night shift in the sports department. It was 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. The cafeteria is closed by then, but it was time for my dinner break, where I realized that our break room, nor anywhere else in the building, had any utensils whatsoever, which forced me to eat my reheated chicken parmesan and spaghetti with my bare hands, which was witnessed by at least one colleague who worked in at that point. And at the end of the night, when I tried to leave at 2 a.m. and realized that my cool Bradley Jennings ID card didn't open up the gate to the employee parking lot, and I also realized that there's not a lot of help to get the gate open at 2 a.m. 6 weeks later, I left that job at the large Baltimore newspaper named after the glowing celestial body, and came back here to York, back to a job in management that I've had for 10 years at the York Daily Record, where they are well aware of two things. One, the onboarding process for new employees is very important, and two, my first name is Brad. Thank you.